The US is not what I expected it to be in many different ways. Um, First, I do like it here. I do like it here. There's a lot of things that that of course, it's not perfect. There are a lot of things that need to be worked on, but there are a lot of beautiful things. I've been very lucky to meet very friendly people. I remember when we first got here, this woman and her family took us in for 9 weeks. I mean, there's five of us, and this woman hosted us for 9 weeks. I will never forget her kindness. A friend of ours, she's now a very good friend now, but when we came, she was a colleague, and she let us use her car September, October, November, December while we sourced our own. Who does that? Like that, those levels of kindness blow my mind and bring me to tears a lot of times that I think about them. So we have been very lucky. But let me tell you some of the things that are just random observations. First, America is the land of excess. It really is the land of excess, or excess. Like a muffin is so big, three of my children share one. Like a diner breakfast for one feeds all five of us. Like when you go to the store to get a box of milk, and you're just looking at the milk section, there is whole milk, 2%, half and half. There is skimmed, there is fat free, there is then you have the types, the oat milk, the almond milk, the cow milk, and then within the cow milk itself you have the organic, and then you have the ones that don't label as organic, and then there is grass-fed farm organic milk. And then for each one of those categories I just told you, there are brands. So any store would have anywhere between 3 to 4 brands. So the milk section would have a totality of like 46 different types of milk to choose from. And you go to the store and you're thinking to yourself, I just wanted milk. Like when you go to Kenya, you get milk. And then maybe the brands, Brookside, KCC, blah, 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 blah. And then you pick one of those, but it's just milk. My friend T was visiting her friend in Houston, and she called me. She was like, I was just trying to get cereal, but there's a whole section with 338 types of cereal. And I have to read ingredients. And that is the other bizarre thing. You have to read ingredients in food here because food is so far removed from being food that you literally, like, I bought my children dried blueberries for their oatmeal in the morning. Like, I put blueberries in their oatmeal. And recently, I've been trying to eat healthier. So I'm working with a coach, and one of the things that she recommends for breakfast is overnight oats. And I have to put in like 50 grams of blueberries. So I'm at that point, she's made me so aware of calories that I am now reading on everything. So I read this bag of blueberries that I've been feeding my kids for a whole month, and I think they just dried blueberries. No, they have 6 ingredients. They're blueberries, they have some sort of sugar infused, they have some type of chemical, I suppose, that keeps them dry and fresh. Like, I got so tired. I was just like, oh, can't anybody just dry the blueberries and bag them? And probably somebody does, but I have to read the packet. Like, you can't just trust the labels. And then again, everything is overly labeled. Like, I'll go to Dunkins. Oh, I'll tell you a whole Dunkin story. I'll go to Starbucks and I see my Frappuccino and it says this plus this plus this. This is 420 calories. And I'm like, why are you telling me? Like, can I just not enjoy a Frappuccino in peace? And they are mandated by law to tell you how many calories are in the food. So in one end, I'm like, and like I went to buy it was sweet potato chips, And I really wanted to buy them because I was like, I love sweet potatoes. What could go wrong with the sweet potato chip, right? Wrong. It was a big label on top saying, these may cause cancer. And I was just like, I don't know that I want to know that, but I also thank you for telling me. And so it's this weird blend of too much information and too many options, and always reading on food products so that when people are shopping, unless you know this product, you've bought it many different times, you often just see people reading labels and scanning because there are apps to tell you if this thing is good for you or not. What other things? So it's the land of excesses. And then America runs on Dunkins. To me, that is the most accurate slogan any business has ever had, because Americans do love their coffee. Like, I come from a coffee growing country. I ain't never seen people consume so much coffee. Big tubs of coffee, people just walking around with coffee, people drinking coffee, people having coffee dates, people having coffee makers, people needing coffee for them to be able to function, people and you know what, my students drink like copious amounts of coffee too. Everybody just needs a high. And to be honest, too, Americans do work hard. Like, just regular American, like middle class Americans, people work really hard. And I can see why it's important to just kind of caffeinate yourself. You need highs. You need something to keep you peppy and active and on task. But man, it's a lot of coffee. And that is just like, to me, one of the observations that I look at, and I'm like, man, that's so different. That is just so different. But yeah, you do get the idea that it's a society of excesses. You go big or you go home. You know, nobody like if you make money, you're gonna have this massive house, massive mansion. And you're gonna buy big things, big engine cars, and you're gonna, yeah, most people do things big, and a lot of things are just big. Like, sometimes I miss, like, in Asia, people like tiny things that are dainty and cute. In most African countries that I've been in, people don't care. They just like, feed me, just don't make it too small, but don't insult me by making it too big either. It's so interesting to see how other people in their differences can also be right. And it's always wonderful to see how just as society, things are so different. But I particularly enjoy that being in America makes me happy that I brought my kids here, because they have access to so many things that I wouldn't have access to in other places that I've lived. But I love that it also makes me realize that I really want to retire and go back home and just tell my people how beautiful we are and how amazing and lucky we are. And, settle back into growing my own food and knowing what my food is. And just, soaking in that the glory of the African climate. But yeah, it's a bizarre observation, but there it is. Thanks for watching.